Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we are going to look at this LightRanger light tower from the company Devos. Now Devos is a company whose products I've looked at on my Outer Limitless 2 channel, where I took a look at one of their firearm stands. Really nice products, beautifully made, absolutely fantastic construction, and in this case extremely useful utility purpose. This here is just a wonderful light. This has been fantastic, and it's taken me a while to really get through this review from the simple standpoint that I wanted to put this to good practical use and be able to demonstrate it to you. Now I'm going to start this entire video by saying I can highly recommend this product. This is a beautiful light, wonderful cast, just really nicely made. Everything about this is just really nicely done. And I can, again, say I highly recommend it for a number of people and a number of uses, but we're going to get into that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you some examples of where I've used this so that you can get an understanding of where it's worked for me and maybe how this will work for you. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Devos who did provide this for review. So here, the Devos LightRanger. This is based upon the actual lighting head. So as you see here, nicely crafted, fairly large, but at the same time, not too big. This is a beautiful light with a brightness up to 1200 lumens. Now it does have an infinite adjustment pretty much to the lower lumen outputs. I don't have exactly what the lower lumen output is, but I can tell you it's definitely enough for some basic tasks. This is a micro USB rechargeable light, so you can see here your port. And then it also has the ability to leverage this as an actual sort of power bank. So if you wanted to plug in your USB adapter for your phone or anything like that, you do have the ability. And you'll notice that's tucked in really in the recessed portion of the head. Has a little weatherized cap you can put on there to keep it nice and dry. And other than that, I mean, just the construction is stout. It's robust. I feel like I could drop this and it would be fine. You can see on the underside the lens and your different LED arrays. Now this is a 4-sided light. So as you take a look here, lights on all 4 sides. But when you press the button here, well, boom, that is just that nice quad output on all 4 sides. But then as you cycle through the modes, you'll notice it kind of splits off. And so as you go through the modes here, pretty straightforward, but at the same time, you can either go all 4 or with 2 or just the 1. And the nice thing is at this point, it really is reducing the overall use on your battery. So depending on what task you are using this for, that works out great. So for me, I've actually leveraged this in a couple of different modes. And for the most part, I usually only end up using 2 or maybe even 1 of the LEDs. And then beyond this, a long press, well, that's going to change the output. So as I long press here, you can see all the way up and then all the way down. So again, it is an infinite ramp, and you just kind of press between it and it will ramp between the different intensities. So very straightforward, very simple, not a lot to it. And the controls here, very, very easy. So generally speaking, where do I use this? Well, that's the next thing. You do have the ability to hang this if you wanted. So you could potentially hang it on the inside of a tent or something like that. I would suggest that this is a little heavy for the tent structure to hold this up. So you kind of need to consider that. But you could also maybe hang it from, a tree or a pole or something like that. So that's the first thing. But the next part about this, which is really nice, well, this comes with a collapsible stand. So as you take a look here, you can see this stand. This is the sort of extensions, and these are very smooth. You end up with a good amount of extension overall. And this will go fully collapsed to 39 inches and fully extended to 104 inches. So overall, very, very nice and versatile. You'll notice that this ends up on a tripod, so it's a nice stand with large, wide feet. This is, I would say, a little bit limited to generally needing to run and operate on fairly even ground. This does have a tendency, once you extend it out to the full height, to be a little bit top heavy and want to topple, but you could leave it fairly short and be okay. But I did find that for the most part, if you find yourself some reasonably flat ground, it does seem to work a little bit better. But let's just say if you were on uneven ground, or you didn't want to use the tripod legs, you actually have the ability to remove the center portion here. You'll notice the button, you just kind of depress that button, which allows you to pull this out, and you can swap out the tripod legs for more of a spike. So here you can see this will actually go directly into the ground and gives you a little sort of sleeve to accept the pull, which is cool. So if you were going to put this in sand, if you were going to use it out in the lawn, you definitely have the ability to do that. And this does come with the set. So very, very nice. And as I mentioned, this does have the same sort of push button to accept this. So as you take a look here, as we mount this on the top of the pole, extremely simple, the sliding right on, and very easy. So easy on, easy off, which I do like. And as I mentioned, that's also the case with the stand and the legs. Now, just last but not least, you do have a couple of shortcuts. So as I mentioned, a single press, well, that's full power. If I press twice, that's going to go right to that two-sided. And if I press 3 times, single-sided, the 4th time is off. So very simple, great operation overall. But with that, let's get into the field use. And so now getting the Devos LightRanger out for some quality field use. This lighting tower is extremely useful in a number of different ways. You'll see in my demonstrations, this really gave me some overall quality lighting in a number of different scenarios. So from general lighting in my yard, this has been great. It's extended a lot of my family time. You can see my kids enjoying my yard for a longer duration out into the evening in a place where I otherwise don't have appropriate lighting. So from my ability to just hang out with friends, get some appropriate lighting, make a safer path, a safer way to get in and out of my yard, but also create a recreational space for my kids long after the light has gone down, the Devos LightRanger has been absolutely wonderful. You can see I use it for general illumination. I've used it around my table, my picnic table, my overall patio area. It's just been wonderful. So to provide some supplemental lighting in areas where I otherwise didn't have it, the Devos LightRanger has been great. But what about those times where I'm getting down to work? I've used this as a utility light in a number of different scenarios. So whether or not I'm inside and need a little bit of lighting in a dimly lit area, or outside, again, extending my workday beyond what was otherwise a useful amount of light, the Devos LightRanger, as you can see here, really nicely and effectively lighting things up to where I have the detail that I need for my working tasks. And beyond all of this, I've had the wonderful opportunity to bring this LightRanger out for my camping events. Again, another great place for this lantern. Throw it in the car, perfect for car camping. As you can see here, using it in my tent area to light things up. At the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is trip. The last thing I want to do is poke my eyes. Sometimes you just need a little bit of light, and this Devos LightRanger, fantastic. And on top of it all, being water resistant is wonderful. You can see here, just dealing with a little bit of nuisance rain, but at the same time, I know the LightRanger is going to be fine. And after all of it, after a long day of hiking, a long day of camping, and just trying to get into my tent, you can see here the perfect amount of light, not killing the battery, not killing my eyes, just a nice, soft, and subtle amount of light for a little bit of safety a little bit of security, and the ability to perform my camp tasks safely. The Devos LightRanger is just awesome. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. Some field use with this Devos LightRanger telescoping lantern. I am very, very happy with this. I am just a big fan. I think this is a great addition for pretty much anybody and everybody. So depending on what you do, I mean, as simple as being a homeowner and having just basic backyard tasks, no problem. In the attic, sure. In a garage space, absolutely. So for a work light, you can definitely put this into good practical use. For outdoor events and some basic lighting, I just use this in the corner of my yard at my gate where I know, the people that are coming to visit me are coming and going. I don't have an exterior light, so just having this, during parties and illuminating the way and just creating a little safety and security, that's been fantastic. And camping, this is a no-brainer. Illuminating the area. Maybe you have a picnic. Maybe you just need some light where you are to perform your tasks or even set up and break down your gear. This would definitely do it. I could say for a contractor, taking this and slipping it into a vehicle, no problem. And another great benefit with this, it comes with a basic yet effective little sort of travel carrying case, which I like. So for me, I've pretty much just been keeping this at the ready. Keep it here in my studio, and I break this out pretty much, I would say, on a weekly basis. At some point in my week, I find I have a reason to use this. That's how much I appreciate this. That's how much I enjoy it. So again, if you're a contractor, if you're a homeowner, if you're a sports fan, and you have kids and you just want to enjoy your backyard while you play some of your backyard games, this Devos LightRanger, absolutely fantastic. And so again, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Devos who did provide this for review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.